Hello, not chat. Long time no see. I was deliberating for some time about how I wanted to make my first Gumroad video after a very long absence of not making Gumroad videos. I kind of wanted to come back with some fanfare and just start out strong. However, after some weeks of delay and trying to organize something a little bit bigger, I decided that it would be better to just get something out. And that is my plan. I want to get something out, something that wouldn't necessarily fit into the usual streams because of length or topic or whatever. And I'll do that every weekend to the best of my ability until we are caught up, until every month that has missed an upload has received an upload. I want to give a brief and privileged insight into my living situation as an attempt to stir up some sympathy. First of all, let me say I'm very appreciative that many people chose to continue to stay subscribed to the Gumroad through Drop Kiwi Farms and through the first half of this year, despite no content uploads. Obviously, nobody's obligated to do that. So I very much appreciate it. It's a lot of stability in a time that doesn't have much stability. And my plan was to already be back in the United States by this point in time, where I would have an office and a fiber optic internet connection that was very stable and had a very strong upstream connection so that I could go through my catalog of missing streams on the RSS feed and the website and on the various archive channels and get everything up to date. That hasn't happened. In fact, my situation has gotten worse, and that's not because of financial issues. It's just because of some very obtuse, very frustrating things that I was not expecting. I meticulously planned my return, and I waited for the right moment, and I waited for the right things to happen, and then when I tried to pull the trigger, I was basically knocked on my ass. There were certain things that I couldn't do that I had not anticipated, that completely ruined my plans. And as a result, I was stuck in a very bad situation where I had just moved to a different Airbnb, and this Airbnb has concrete walls, and the internet is like very shittily cast throughout the building. And my upload stream was like a Wi-Fi extender times 3, like for each floor through different concrete, and it was just abysmal. So I literally got a Starlink, and I literally got somebody to go on the fucking roof and pipe adapter this Starlink to the roof and slip the cord for the Ethernet for the router into my apartment through the window, which is how I'm connected to the internet now. And while this is much more stable, this is not a ideal situation because Starlink, despite being very good, actually, is that it has a very weak upstream. I get as advertised upstream, but even that's like 40 megabits per second, I think, or weaker. It's extremely slow upstream, barely good enough for live streaming, but extremely difficult to actually upload gigabytes of videos to different platforms. Because when I do the post processing for my streams, I have and I've had to reduce this because the format is so big, but I have like a 3 gigabyte file, and then I I locally post process this, but then I strip out the audio. I used to strip it out as WAV, but now I strip it as Opus to reduce size. I upload that to a website that does automatic post processing really well, and then I have to download the MP3 file, and then I have to upload that MP3 file to 2 different sites, and then oftentimes I have to re-upload to Odyssey the MP4 file, and it's just a nightmare. It's like 10 gigabytes of data when all is said and done. And when you're doing that at 40 megabits per second tops, it's just very time consuming, and it doesn't have to be. If my connection was better, and there's nothing I can do to really improve it at this point, I would have a much easier time managing my archive and doing Gumroad stuff. But I'm just sort of working with what I have, and I'm trying to correct the issues in my return, so that I can get back by the end of the year. Then when I get back by the end of the year, hopefully I'll be able to get fiber. Obviously I have to move kind of close to an urban center to get fiber optic, but that's just how it is. And then I can start really committing myself to the things that I have been neglecting since about August 2022. Because even though after the legal fund was funded, the issues basically immediately stopped. For whatever reason, $150,000 was in itself enough to deter certain people. But even though that's kind of stopped, I haven't really felt at ease or been in the appropriate situation to continue what I'm doing. So, as I was before. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to finally being settled. For the last couple years, I've just been in an extremely unstable situation, and as a young 20-year-old, that was fine. That was exciting. But as a 30-something, I really feel it wearing down on me. So I'm done. I'm done being Mr. Globetrotter, world explorer. I never want to move again. Basically, I'm very finished with this. So I'm going to get an office. I'm going to get a super high speed 1 gigabit per second Google Fiber connection. I'm going to fix my archives. I'm going to recommit to the Gumroad stuff, and then I want to do something. I want to improve the streams a little bit so that they're a little bit more formal. And when I say formal, I mean like the actual setup is more professionally done and less hack-sneed, as it were. But on that note, I've wasted enough time whining. So this lovely screen is actually not my. I deliberately chose this first frame, but this is actually not a setup that I picked for myself. This is a video we're going to be watching. So this is a video called "The Victims of Kiwi Farms," and it is by a guy I've never heard of before, who goes by the name. Oh God. Sorry, I already fucked this up. It's by a guy called Royalty is Here, who has almost 100,000 subscribers, but after 2 weeks, this video has not yet broken 17,000 views, which makes me wonder if this is like a dead channel. He kind of seems to do expose videos on like internet drama stuff. He's like a very unsuccessful Turkey Tom, I guess would be fair. Kind of like a left wing Turkey Tom. A lot of his content is about how much he hates VTubers. And he's British. I don't know if I mentioned that, but that's why we're picking on him. I've not watched this before. I didn't want to subject myself to what is almost 30 minutes of a British person talking. But for the entertainment of not chat, I think I'll make an exception. So let's see. This is The Victims of Kiwi Farms by Royalty is Here.
So if you don't know what Kiwi Farm is, God himself has bestowed holy ignorance on the minuscule collection of chromosomes and cells that make up your teeny tiny brain.
Nice. Do it, clap.
But don't worry, I'm here to draw a pentagram and make sure that...
I wonder if you can, like, if I could guess this person's age just based off that intro. Like, his intro is, like, his presentation style is very slow, and his jokes aren't particularly clever. So I can see why this guy might have 100,000 subscribers, but he doesn't actually have like viewers. Because that intro doesn't sink you in. Like, you don't know what Kiwi Farms is. Okay, so instead of making a joke about that to get you interested, I'm going to just like insult you as a person. You know what I mean? So he's gonna draw a. I don't know. I thought this was like an oil painting of a kiwi, but now I see that this is just like his avatar. So that's kind of coincidental. But he's going to draw a pentagram for us in traditional British fashion.
From this video, you get traumatized so much that everything you believe in will turn upside down. I'm talking some of the masculine guys watching right now, getting so traumatized they start to think about wearing thigh highs, skirts, and ending every sentence with ooh woo.
Okay, so this is like. We're not even like 30 seconds in, and he's already bringing up like tranny cross-dressing shit. It doesn't bode well. Does not bode well.
If you're already on that route, I'm just curious how much you've spent on bad dragons. Anyway, Kiwi Farms I thought was the literal meaning of some sort of hobby like a farm in the north countryside of Chile, but thanks to this
Why Chile instead of Kiwi, like New Zealand? You should know what New Zealand is.
Person who I hate because I can't pronounce their name and they remind me every time, recommended me to take a look. But I was poorly mistaken because the only thing going here is degenerates, criminals, and lolcows. I also did not know the definition of a lolcow, which is a person or group that is highly perceptible to people making fun of them, and figuratively they get milked for laughs. More accurately, the actions they take, despite not trying to be humorous whatsoever.
I just can't do it. I can't take this shit no more, man.
A good example of a lolcow is Chris Chan.
I'm aware of Digital Circus, but I have not seen Skibbity Toilet.
Obviously, but
It's kind of interesting that his frame of reference for Chris Chan is him saying "skibbity toilet." There's approximately 20 years of Christian Weston Chandler content, many of it very well known. But this guy's frame of reference for Chris Chan is post-tranny, post-mom rape Chris Chan saying "skibbity toilet," which I think is a bad indication about where this guy is coming from, i.e. the cradle. The Wayne's clip is classic. I can't deny that.
before they did the crimes they committed, people online would make fun of them and sometimes get them to do things that would make people bully them more.
Yes. The inside and outside tour I did a few months ago of my house. Everyone on the internet, my mother and my father are angry at me. They're blaming at me. It's my fault. I admit it's my fault. I want everything about my house off the internet.
But in their
It's kind of presumptuous for this guy to be like, if you're watching my channel, which is, I remind you entirely about like drama shit, like I'll read some of the titles. The degenerate femboy VTuber, the worst woman on the internet, and it's Isabel Yanka. True creepy Reddit stories, how Tumblr destroyed itself, the downfall of Master Oogla guy, and that one has 185,000 views. So I guess if you want to make a popular video on YouTube, you have to like put the downfaller or something, or the degenerate bronies. That one has 73,000. Actually, I kind of wonder, his videos about other drama shit do pretty well, like 50,000 plus. God, he's such a slop content producer. The downfall of Overwatch, like I watched a video about that had like multiple millions of views, and he just saw that and was like, okay, well, I'll make my downfall of Overwatch things. And this is like pure slop. This is like shameless fucking slop. But I was going to say, his video on the Kiwi Farms has 17,000 views, and often he breaks 100,000. Like, his degenerate femboy VTuber has 135,000. And I wonder if that's entirely algo-based. Like, the YouTube algo sees Kiwi Farms and just does not show that video to anyone for any reason. But he still gets 17,000 of his subscribers to click on it. Meanwhile, the words degenerate and femboy are like YouTube content, like latches. If you put those in your video title, it'll like send them out to everybody. And then the people looking at it see, oh, I see critical. I'm sorry, it's on the screen, but I see critical Charlie. He's in the thumbnail, and then there's a femboy anime character. So it's like, you get a lot of people clicking that. Charlie and femboys, YouTube slop. That's my favorite YouTube slop right there. Awesome. Yeah, bro, if you want to make a successful video, that's kind of funny because it's like, it insulates us from a lot of mainstream commentary. If YouTube is like specifically downplaying any video about the Kiwi Farms, it kind of protects us from critical videos because they can't break into the mainstream.
In their own eyes, they were doing nothing wrong. They were just acting as they normally would. And they have a bit of naivety to the fact people are actually making fun of them. Sometimes these people egging them on to do self-destructing behaviour. Just like how Chris Chan apparently was manipulated and coaxed into doing his crime, which was essaying his elderly mother. It does not get better on the internet, it gets very much worse. But if you look up the definition of Kiwi Farm, it says the following: it is a web forum that facilitates the discussion and harassment of online figures and communities. Which sounds a lot like my channel. You're welcome.
Yeah, no shit.
The website's
I'm glad he's a little bit self-aware. Dude, his editing style is the laziest shit ever. It's just like a picture of him with like a backdrop, and it just zooms into him, and he speaks every sentence the exact same way. If you've never heard of Kiwi Farms, you should consider yourself lucky. And then it like pans and zooms into the bird, like each time, like it zooms in. You should consider yourself lucky, and then it's maximum, and then it zooms out, and then it continues to the next sentence and says, that's basically like my channel, and then it zooms in again. Exact same fucking editing sequence. Dude, like, if this guy was AI, if he told me, like, this guy doesn't exist, he's a machine learning model, I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
The function was following people like Christian and harassing them, so the forum really hasn't changed much. If anything, it's got worse with its ever-expanding victims, with most of the victims being vulnerable to peer pressure, or in general just being naive, and being coaxed into...
Oh, dude, this guy doesn't give a fuck about his topic at all. So the first one is Daniel Larson Stan, who, number one, is like a pedophile. Not a very sympathetic person. Number two, all of his trolls are like from Reddit. Like, the FBI is like arresting his trolls now because he's facing domestic terrorism charges, which they just recently found out that he was incapable to stand trial for because he's too mentally incompetent. So they're arresting his trolls instead, and they're all from Reddit and not from the Kiwi Farms. Then he shows Bossman Jack, who, if there was an example of a person that we have a thread on that's really popular even, that who does not interact with the trolls at all. Zero interaction, doesn't acknowledge it, doesn't talk about it, genuinely does not give a fuck about what people say about him on the internet. Bossman Jack is like the number one pick I could come up with for someone who is completely and totally unfazed by the Kiwi Farms. He's more concerned with like the clip channels because they're on YouTube, because you have all these people that are like the Wings of Redemption style like clippers who take his clips, post them to YouTube, get hundreds of thousands of views, and they monetize him. And that's why he hates those people, because they monetize his channel. He doesn't care that they're making fun of him. He cares that they're making money off of his clips. He doesn't care about the site at all. So it's kind of weird to bring him up. I remind you, a crack smoking 28-year-old who lives at home and recently beat his father. That's the victim of Kiwi Farms.
Into making the worst decisions possible. And today we are going to talk about some of the victims of Kiwi Farms. And just a little caveat, I know people are going to say these people deserved it. Well, that's what you get for generally being naive on the internet, but that is up for you to decide. I will just sprinkle my opinion here and there. But first, a good example of a lol cow, and the dilemma between is it their fault or the people influencing them's fault.
The fucking editing is like nauseating.
I get breakfast fed to me. I get paid. I have no bills, no rent. I get to chill and just fucking not even work and just chill and gamble. Doesn't that sound nice?
Fucking don't have it. I just gambled it, bro. Dude, somebody please help me, bro. Dude, somebody please fucking help me, bro.
During the curtain era.
Help me, bro.
Now on Kiwi Farms, the earliest post I could find was August 23rd, 2023, and some of the responses under that post does set the tone for the average Kiwi Farm user.
They need to criminalize pan and zoom. Like, there is nothing that the pan and zoom adds to this fucking video besides seasickness. Like, your still JPEG of a fucking bird oil painting is not enhanced by zooming up on it over and over again.
I generally don't like gambling. However, watching this man gamble, what little money he has, makes my sides explode. Seeing the way he blows up out of nowhere only makes me wish I could be a fly on the wall whenever Ralph thinks he's about to hit the jackpot, betting on Indonesian women's swing ball or whatever the fuck. But this poster also seems to have some sympathy for him.
He doesn't even know who Ralph is. Like, he doesn't understand what that comment is. His Ralph is like a sports gambler, and he probably has some similar losses that he's just cognizant enough to not stream because people would make fun of him. So that's he doesn't even understand the context of what he's reading.
Feel bad for his parents.
It's just like he's just on the first page of this thread and just reading like the posts as they come, and then trying to like weave a narrative out of that.
That's horrid to live with, especially as you're getting older. Assuming they haven't been enablers of this behavior developing, of course. Now, if you couldn't tell, Bossman Jack or Austin Curtis Peterson is a prolific gambler. You've actually probably seen some videos of him before. People love to make memes about him.
No! I lost it all!
But before Kiwi Farms even got remotely involved, this guy's life was as rocky as the cocaine rocks he inhales. Because not only did he have a terrible childhood where he was constantly getting into trouble and even committed crimes, but he started streaming in 2019 gambling, where he would gamble everything, and I mean everything.
Dude, look at that zombie.
Yeah! There's a big one. There's a big boy hit. Make that shit back, baby!
A few minutes later.
Yeah! Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! This isn't happening! Oh my god! I almost got it all out. All back to me.
A few moments later.
Why, dude?
This was back during
I'm not getting
like
that back. I'm not.
when thousands of dollars were like a lot to him. Now he just like he never gets his dopamine rush anymore. Unless he hits like 200,000, he never gets this excited about anything.
I'm not gonna get that back, guys.
If he could trade the hair follicles that are remaining on his head for money, he'd do it, and then probably put it all into a slot machine and lose. And this is your sign and your reminder not to gamble. Only if you have that much income, you have money to spare, and even then you have it predetermined in your brain that money is going to be gone. But then again, if you're going to do that, you may as well go on the stock market and buy some very volatile stocks. I have a feeling that will work out better for you. Now, he is an adult.
It's a really good thing that this Birdman from England is there to warn us. By the way, kids, don't gamble. I was like, after watching this guy lose all of his money, I was thinking, damn, I guess I should gamble. Thankfully, he's got the code cracked.
8 years old, living with his parents, which wouldn't be a problem because many people watch his streams and donate, but he puts it all back into the gambling websites like Stake, and a majority of the time loses it all, leaving himself either in debt or not even enough to buy himself a McChicken sandwich.
Dude, oh my god, bro! Oh my god, bro! Oh my gosh, dude! Holy crap, game! Oh my god, dude, you're a fucking miracle, dude.
Dude,
I need help, dude. I actually need help.
I kind of feel like that this guy, the Birdman, he should have not called this video "The Victims of Kiwi Farms." He should have just called it "My Favorite Lolcows from Kiwi Farms." Because I mean, he's not like, I kind of expected this to be like a really salty video where he's like, I can't believe that, and then of course you have to imagine the pan and zoom on loop to the Birdman avatar, and it's like, I can't believe that Kiwi Farms tempted this poor innocent angel to partake in gambling again and again. But instead he's just sort of like showing clips of this guy, and I was like, wow, isn't it funny that he's a fucking loser? Which I mean is like just the forum. Just say these are my favorites.
$300 given to them, and for them to lose it all.
I guess you can't monetize that on YouTube though. They won't let you.
While staying up to ungodly hours, screaming and damaging the house. And his parents are elderly and rarely confront him on his gambling habits, even watching him do it sometimes.
Nice.
And he has been banned on Twitch for saying the F slur, and now recently on Kick, forcing him to go back to Twitch. And he's been gambling a long time, ever since he started gambling in 2019 on stream. He's been in an endless cycle for 5 years, winning and then losing.
It's actually not accurate. He got into gambling because of RuneScape, ironically. He was a staker on RuneScape. I've talked about this on stream, but RuneScape had like a legit serious gambling issue with the people staking and then using those stakes for like real life money and stuff. So they eventually just got rid of staking in RuneScape. But he was hardcore into that. So he was gambling before 2019, I want to say, but he was just staking on his own, and then he started streaming his RuneScape stuff, and then it became gambling over time.
They were focusing on Kiwi Farms and how they had a hand in it. And the one downside of becoming a target of Kiwi Farms is the sheer amount of attention you get. Mainly people that will want to encourage your bad habits and your self-destructive behaviour. But there are two sides to Kiwi Farms in this situation. One side that will sit down and laugh at him and encourage him to spend more money, sometimes getting him to do cool tricks for money like he's a monkey in a zoo. Because he is so desperate for money to gamble that sometimes he will beg, and people in the chat will propose him to do stuff like shave his head, in which he will oblige because he's desperate for the money supposedly, and then when he's done so, they won't even donate the full amount.
I can't think of a, I don't think that this is true. I don't think that anyone in the thread talks about giving money to bossmen. Like I know in the Kino chat, if anyone talks about that, they get made fun of. So I don't think that that's true. I also really enjoy the soy jack. If you laugh at retards gambling away all your money, you're basically like someone obsessed with Marvel. Like, okay, just Zoomer brains. Like, this is the meme that shows people I don't like.
Not donate at all.
Once I find the perfect soy jack, you're dead.
Are you serious? Do this. I'll shave it right fucking now for 300 to 1,000.
All right, here we go. I'm going right down the middle.
See, look, he's saying the Kiwi farms would give him money to do bad thing, and then he shows his kick chat and some random guy in his fucking kick chat, and he's not showing any forum posts. So this is his own chat that's doing this. This is not the forum.
Take a picture or something. Is it not even cutting? Oh, it is. It definitely is. Look at that. Woo! Look at that haircut.
I had to shave it off, bro. I'm still waiting on it. I don't know what's going on, man. Bro, I just got trolled so fucking hard, dude.
So basically you have people from Kiwi farms and in his stream praying for
Based on what? You can't do that. You can't do the pan and zoom to the fucking kick chat and say these are Kiwi farms. Like, fuck you, brother. Is everything that happens on the internet that you don't like me personally in my forum, even though there's no evidence of that? Is everything my fault? If so, do I get paid for taking on everything as my fault? Surely if everything is my fault, I should also get credit, right? I should get paid for this.
Own fault. And this is not even pretty to watch. Most times you can see he genuinely hates his life and will gamble anything in his bank account. Even when he was debt-free at one point, he still returned to the casino.
Oh my fucking god. Yo, oh my god. I'm debt free. I'm fucking debt free. I'm fucking debt free.
And as I said before, he has anger issues and sometimes self-harms by hitting himself in the head. And if he doesn't do that, he destroys what is around him and treats his parents who are supporting him like garbage.
That's our fault.
Man, what do you fucking want? What the fuck do you want? Huh?
This is just a Bossman Jack highlight reel. How the fuck is this my fault?
And you have people from Kiwi farms trying to expose him for the person he is. This includes dropping...
Bro, that's like...
What the fuck? You're a fucking dumbass one.
And on the other hand, you have people from Kiwi farms...
This is what I mean. This is like AI slop. Okay, so the guys who are like trolling Austin are the soy jacks who, for whatever reason... And then the ones who are trying to expose him are like sadist psychopath Wojaks. It's like the AI knows it has to plug in two like Soyjack caricatures to make this zoomy slop YouTube video, but it doesn't truly understand the context or nuance of the images. So it just picks two at random. You know what I mean? Like, I could truly believe that this guy's just a machine.
Trying to expose him for the person he...
Oh, that editing too. It like jumps up and down.
Dropping the entire backstory of when he was a child, even finding his mugshots, and finding some of his personal social media profiles, and doxing some of his family members, even providing a link to their Facebook pages, and going so far that they even exposed his drug habits.
Oh my god.
A picture of him posing with a rock of cocaine. But looking at
a rock of cocaine. I wonder if this guy even like reviewed this material before he started vocalizing it. It kind of feels like there's an AI that writes the script, composites the video, and then vocalizes it because it doesn't like is it morally unjustifiable to make fun of somebody for posting pictures of themselves posing with a crack rock and smiling? Is that like the bad thing to do?
Bossman Jack has lost and wagered $3.5 million. He's been banned off most streaming platforms, including Kick, which I'm pretty sure is hard to get banned off. He's also been banned from Stake and had his contract removed, a contract that was paying him to gamble generous amounts. I'm talking almost 10 grand a week to sit and stream gambling with his usual antics. But he couldn't even do that. He publicly condemned the site that was paying him, and even insulted someone higher up in stake that came to his stream, donated money for him to gamble, and then when he lost it all, proceeded to call him the equivalent of an arsehole.
They could, dude, type a 7 in the chat. If Stake and Eddie with these multi-billion dollars could pay me a little bit more than $250 a day when they have billions and billions of dollars. I swear to God, I'm fucking done. This is a scam. There's nothing but a scam. I just lost like 20 in a row. Scammers! You.
Now, Bossman Jack's life isn't going that well. He has a gambling addiction, drug addiction,
yeah, no shit, retard.
A relationship with his parents that house feed him and probably
but the forum is evil.
Whilst destroying their house and insulting them. And anytime his addiction actually pays out, he is back the next day to lose it all. And he will lose it all. In front of thousands of people online, he will humiliate himself in front of just for them to donate. And
look at the Kiwi Farms chat on the stream.
Only want the
it's
West
evil.
for him. And it is probably a stretch to say that he already knows this. But as long as people are watching and fueling his gambling addiction, even if he has to beg, his pride is the least of his concerns. Or it was never there to begin with. But the question of this video is, how did Kiwi Farms influence this? Well, one, as soon as the first forum post was made, his streams would be advertised to the people of Kiwi Farms who genuinely just wanted the worst for him. And even though his existing fans already had this frame of mind...
Dude, without exaggeration, I think that Bossman Jack probably has, like, the most supportive thread. Like in terms of just, like, wishing well for him. There's very few people who actually, like, want him to die or go to jail or whatever. It's just like an assumption. He just says, oh, there's a thread on this site. And Google says that it's a harassment site, so therefore they want him to die. This is like what normie NPCs are like. They can just be programmed like that. And then they, with minimal information, justify everything that they see into their worldview. And that's just it.
This would make it much worse, and thus significantly increase the amount of people that genuinely just want the worst for him for their own entity.
So what about you, bro? What about you, and what about Turkey Tom? Turkey Tom did a video. I'm gonna see how much, because I know that this is on Tom Dark, and it has like Tom Dark Bossman. Bossman, the end of Bossman Jack, 100,000 views 8 days ago. The crackhead criminal gambling his life away, 1.6 million views. The gambling streamer going bankrupt for views. This isn't about Bossman Jack, but it's another. I think it's about Trainwreck. Then I think, let's see, Kiwi Farms. Austin Peterson. I have a sneaking suspicion about this thread. Let's see. Okay, I pulled it up. Okay, it's in locales. Austin Peterson has 3 million views. So in total, the cumulative views of a thread that is 1,174 pages and has 23,000 posts is only 3 million. At most 3.99 or whatever million views. So Turkey Tom made a video that has received half as many views as the totality of the thread. And that is over time. So one video 2 months ago has gotten 1.6 million views. A thread that is routinely open and viewed by hundreds of people has over a longer length of time, because this was in August 23, 2023, received 3 million views. But it's we who are culpable for everything that Bossman does. We are guilty of encouraging it. We are guilty of giving him attention. But the YouTubers who make videos to try and profit off of this are not at all. It's our fault entirely.
And even fuel his gambling habits even more. And two, they've made it so him and anyone in his life has no privacy whatsoever. I'm pretty sure even the McDonald's cashier that served him now has a post on Kiwi Farms with their social media, social security number, and address readily available now. Now, in conclusion, if Kiwi Farms never got involved, I think this would have been an event that happened anyway. Kiwi Farms just advertised and accelerated the process tenfold over, because Austin would have never changed regardless. But now he's back on Twitch, he's streaming CSGO and having regular mental breakdowns. But he's still gambling, just on a different website called Shuffle. And to be honest, it looks like he is actually at the lowest point possible now. His sponsors are gone, he can't stream on certain websites, and his confidence just isn't there anymore.
Everybody fucking hates me and makes fun of me, makes me look like a dumbass, because no one respects me. All I ask for is respect, and nobody gives me respect, bro.
And the worst part is the people that were ridiculing him and encouraging him.
It's so easy
just leave.
To just take random things of him complaining out of context, because he doesn't want respect, he wants money. There's that clip of him crying and saying, like, why won't anyone help me, bro? And I remember when I first saw that clip, I thought, damn, you know, he understands that he has an issue. He's upset that nobody can help him get out of this hole that he dug for himself. He's begging people to reach out to him to find a way to overcome his gambling addiction. And then the next breath, he's like, I just need more money to gamble with. And it's like, oh, so if you take that part of him saying, I need help, I just want people to respect me, I'm down bad, I really need help from people, I just need some love and compassion. Like, you're extracting the next part where he just says, yeah, I need you to give me fucking money, retard. I want to gamble more. Because that's what he's saying. Everything else is just like a pity play. And this guy just buys into it because he needs to for his narrative.
The way he is now. And probably move on to the next person. But Kiwi Farms did have a hand in the destruction of this man. Now, the next victim
I personally take
a very unique first post about them. The first line reads, they are a mentally ill transgender pedophile who is a compulsive liar based in Denver metropolitan area. If that wasn't the most loaded double-barrel shotgun for a first sentence of anything, first of all, I'm worried for your mental health, second of all, I'm worried what you're reading. So who is the target of Kiwi Farms this time? Well, it's Daniel Larson.
Are you okay?
COVID. Get the fuck out of here.
Okay, Nick.
Really? It's going to be like that?
I don't know anything about
you're talking
Daniel
about.
Larson, so this is mostly going to be new to me.
Nick, last name Gurr. Put it together.
Daniel's existence on the internet started very early. You can find videos of him when he was 14 years old on a news broadcast representing a centre for children that have been abused, neglected, and have mental issues. Unfortunately, Daniel incorporated all of these traits, as his start to life was very, very rocky. So much so that his grandma would take primary custody of him.
When I first came here, I actually...
Here's a tip for everybody. If you're making a YouTube video that you're trying to make go viral and get hundreds of thousands of views and get shared around, if you have a clip that's in mono and can only be heard in the left fucking ear, make sure that you put that in mono so that it can be heard in both ears. Or sorry, if you have a clip that's in stereo, but there's only one track, make sure you put it in mono so that it's not fucking irritating to listen to.
That's 14-year-old Danny, who came from an extremely neglectful home.
Upon his leaving from the centre, it was noted that Daniel showed extreme promise and was well on track to recovery. However, that would not be the case in his later life. In 2019, at the age of 20, his grandmother passed away. His grandmother was one of the people he was closest to, and she very much took care of him. And without her, he would spiral into depravity. And one of the first mistakes being in 2020, where he downloaded TikTok and started posting there. You could say
Oh, he didn't download Kiwi Farms and start posting there? Oh, it was TikTok and people on TikTok, okay.
Very first posts were very mundane, simply him talking to the camera or going down slides. But as I said, it gets much worse from here. His first major post was him announcing he's going for the presidential election.
I am going to be running for president in 2024. Are you ready for this?
I think the Democrats found their replacement for Joe Biden. Let's give it up.
Please follow me. We got some big news coming ahead.
Which made him acquire the name President Larson by his fans. His fans of which only wanting the worst for him, even prompting them to make him believe that the civil unrest happening in America around 2020 with the Black Lives Matter movement was all his fault, leading him to doing jumping jacks in reparation of George Floyd.
This is for George Floyd. Rest in peace. Black Lives Matter.
And it would go downhill from there when he would start streaming on TikTok, relatively unfiltered.
Okay, I ain't fucking lying about shit. Bob.
And
Typical inner city experience.
The music industry would start making music as well.
Big motherfucking bank records. They try to make me a masturbator. They sit on their disc.
See, the thing that I know about Daniel Larson is that he has like this complot of like Reddit trolls who just Christian him and marionette him. He falls into a category of person who we have threads on that are effectively parrots. The other one that jumps to mind is Gail Schroeder, I want to say is her name. Crazy Gail is her moniker, but she's like legitimately schizophrenic, and she's extremely impressionable. She has no filter. She has no, like, anything that someone says to her, she immediately believes. And she has this very dedicated group of trolls who have been with her for literally, like, since Christian was a thing. And they started on the PVCC, which was a private trolling clique, kind of adjacent to the Quickie forums, but it was only for the cool kids. The Quickie forums that I took over and turned eventually into the Kiwi forums was like the loser club. All the cool kids who had inner circle access to Chris and then later Gail were in the PVCC, and they didn't want those Quickie forum fags intruding on their cool kid space. But they basically like coached Gail and told her about how the Jesuits were sending bukkake bombs to like coat Canada and cum or whatever. And she would say these crazy things, and you'd be like, what the fuck is she talking about? And you'd be really like sucked into it because it's like, wow, that's crazy that she's saying this. And then there's a clip of where she's talking about the bukkake bombs and how there's an imminent semen-based attack about to erupt in Canada. And you're 5 minutes in, she gets a phone call, and you get this guy who sounds like a young man. He's like, oh my God, the bukkake bombs have landed in Ontario. Everything is covered in bukkake. The Jesuit semen has, like, eviscerated. There are people floating down the streets in bukkake. And she's, like, just nodding along, like, yeah, as you can hear, the bukkake bombs are landing, and the Jesuit attack is very real. You're like, okay, I got you. So this is all bullshit. You're being coached. You have no filter. You're mentally ill and extremely gullible. And that sucks all the joy out of it because nothing that she's saying can be trusted to be a creation of her own mind. Terry Davis is the exact opposite. Terry Davis was schizophrenic and he was crazy, but he was very funny. And the things that he believed had a through line to them that made sense in his psychology. And we're not the product of people coaching him on what to say because he was an intelligent person by himself. Daniel Larson is very much in the Gail Schroeder camp, where he says all this shit about all sorts of things. And even when he's talking about being like a pedophile child molester, and he comes out and he says like he molested his cousin or whatever, it's like, did he really say that? You know, is that really something that he believes? Is that like a memory that he's recalling? Or is that like an implanted memory that trolls are coaxing him into saying through some threat? Because there is like a PBCC type group of Reddit people who have convinced Daniel to do everything up into threatening government buildings with just the assumption that if the police ever came after him, that he would take the fall and they wouldn't look any further than that. But obviously the police are going to be pissed off that there are, you know, people out there trying to coax retards and groom them into being terrorists. All right, that's a bit too long of a rant, but
all day.
With one of his fans taking advantage
just trying to lay
of
my
their
groundwork
own
of what I
amusement,
know about him.
taking up the title of his manager. And then Daniel, whilst Transgender Awareness Month was ongoing, would announce himself as transgender.
Because it is Transgender Awareness Month, I am transgender.
And it was around this time the first Kiwi post about Daniel Larson was made.
That should tell you something, bro. You're making this video, you're looking at your script, and it says, Daniel Larson, extremely mentally vulnerable, went online, downloaded TikTok, got a following, had managers, and then the Kiwi farms. Like, bro, the stage is set already for this guy to be completely manipulated outside of the scope of the Kiwi farms. And it's still like, nah, I gotta circle that shit around.
First of all, noting he is mentally ill and susceptible to manipulation. And noting the terrible grainy videos he produces are hilarious. Along with the accusation he is a pedophile, which does have credibility to it. He was infatuated with somebody called Grace Vanderhall.
This message is to Grace Vanderwall and to the fans. We are officially dating. Grace Vanderwall has told me to make this.
And in 2019 was when he acquired said infatuation. This was when Grace was around 15, and this interest wouldn't go away, as his own manager would leak his Pinterest posts detailing heavy interest in those not of age. And even further evidence would uncover when his supposed...
The thing is that his manager had access to that account, so there's no assurance that content comes from Daniel. Like, if the guy has access to his account, he can make that Pinterest account or list or whatever and pin stuff to it.
Lure him into a Discord call to start talking about the...
Look at all these fucking people. All these faggots, bro. None of them, by the way, having any Kiwi-related avatars.
Things he would change if he was president. And one of the items on said list was the age of consent. And obviously, all of this was documented on Kiwi farms. Even with some people posting, he is the new Christian.
Oh my god.
Documenting such events as the May 6th event, where in Daniel's own words, he went nude in front of 3,000 people on TikTok Live.
Ended up getting me to go onto TikTok Live and go completely nude on live. And at the time, there was 3,000 people.
And that is just the first of many events, apparently, where people have manipulated him into doing things he shouldn't do. Even a post on Kiwi Farms showing that the Reddit that was coaxing him to do these...
He even knows and he says the Reddit that's coaxing him into doing these things.
Becoming self-aware and realizing they're destroying someone's life and taking advantage of him. And quite the twist in the story, Kiwi Farms aren't directly to blame.
Why is he in a video called Victims of Kiwi Farms? Just call it people and shit from Kiwi Farms that I thought was funny or interesting. What the fuck, bro? Birdman, you've lost the plot.
And have even got flack for complaining about all the people doing this to Daniel. The Daniel Larson Reddit arguably has the biggest hand in involvement, monitoring him closely than Kiwi Farms ever was. Hence why some have become self-aware to the fact they are manipulating and making fun of someone with mental health issues and possibly a mental disability. But the
possibly? This dude's like fucking retarded. He's like, you can look at him and tell this dude's fucking retarded. He's got like a sloped face because his like prefrontal cortex is just gone. He has like a fucking chimp brain. What the fuck? Possibly. You can listen to this motherfucker talk for a third of a second.
Kiwi Farms are not directly to blame for all the things he's done. He still had an unhealthy obsession with Grace Vanderhall, to the point where in October of 2023 he starts hitting himself in the head till he bleeds because Grace Vanderhall doesn't want him. And when some possibly fake texts reach him from a relative of hers telling him to stay away, he threatens to take violent action against himself. Now there was a lot of events I missed in between, but this person has been manipulated and made so many mistakes so many times. If I was to put all of them in, this video would be around 2 hours long. And I'm not even being hyperbolic. Most videos documenting him from his start to his finish have an average of being an hour to 2 hours long, with some having multiple 2-hour parts, probably longer than the Lord of the Rings executive cut, just detailing the entire timeline. Now Daniel was arrested on the 1st of May 2024 after allegedly sending dangerous threats to people. And to this day, he remains behind bars. Now, the effect Kiwi Farm...
Not just people. He allegedly sent terroristic threats to multiple federal agents and entire agencies. Like, it's not just like he threatened some dude. He's like, I'm going to beat you up. He's like, I will detonate a fertilizer bomb under the camera. Sorry, I was trying to make a Timothy McVeigh reference, but I forgot what he blew up. Some agency
had on him, I would say is very minuscule compared to the TikTok and Reddit audience. And I would say Kiwi Farms took a back seat in this one. Yes, they labeled him a lol cow, advertised him.
Oh my god. Dude, I wish I had the power that people think I do, where I have like the death note and I can just like sprawl out like, and then this person will do jumping jacks in the name of Adolf Hitler, and then like it happens. I wish. I mean, trust me, bro. I wish I had that, but unfortunately,
as such, giving him more negative attention and followed his path of self-destruction. But that pales in comparison when discussing the impact that TikTok and Reddit had on him. The majority of the time, people on Kiwi Farms would point to the Reddit anyway, as Daniel was aware of the Reddit, meaning people would have better luck getting attention from him there than on Kiwi Farms. But once again, Daniel is a story of someone who is mentally vulnerable, being encouraged and manipulated, mostly by the people that were watching his TikTok lives, to do and perform acts that would only benefit the people watching, as they would get a laugh out of it. And I think it's clear to say Daniel is not all there, but that does not excuse the actions he's done surrounding and his obsessant love for Grace Vanderhall. Now the next victim actually...
What a conclusion. Like, so I brought all this shit into this in my hit piece, and in conclusion, they didn't do anything about this. They just said he's a lolcow, which he is. Really, this is more of an indictment against British people, I think. I think that's fair to say. I'm gonna say that British people suck, and I use Exhibit A, this, and Birdman.
Took a bite back at Kiwi Farms, trying to legally get it taken down and appeal to the people hosting it. In terms of hosting, I mean some of the services provided and security through Cloudflare, because this person was harassed, doxxed, and even stalked for a period of time. But this person tried to...
But let's take a look at that, brother.
In terms of hosting, I mean some of the services provided and security through Cloudflare, because this person was harassed, doxxed, and even stalked.
So right there, you can see if you squint, that left image is a screenshot from 4chan. It's not from Kiwi Farms, right? Like anybody can write Kiwi Farms on a piece of paper, and then take a picture and post it on 4chan. Just food for thought, I guess.
For a period of time, but this person trying to distribute this justice isn't the nicest person themselves. And as soon as I say the name, the people in the know will be transported to 1969.
This editing, I swear to God, I'm imagining the timeline in my head, and it's like a still image of Birdman avatar and screen, and it's just like a 1 point or how many second, like 5 second loop of just pan and zoom over and over again.
In the middle of Saigon. Because that person's name is Keffels.
Look, I'm proud of you, but you should pick a better role model, like, for instance, SpongeBob.
Now, Keffels hasn't had the best few months, starting a GoFundMe to sue the London police services, as they apparently discriminated her and used her dead name, as they are a trans male to female. The conclusion of the GoFundMe being very ambiguous, as there have been no public statements or progress with the lawsuit, leading people to summarise they've spent the money elsewhere, like on drugs. But Keffel is an influencer, Twitch streamer / YouTuber who started streaming to Twitch in 2020 and made content synonymous.
It's amazing. If you compare Keffels just from this screenshot to how he looks now, he's so much like fatter and balder and uglier. Like he hit Twink Death hard, man.
People like Hassan.
Don't do drugs, kids.
So most streams were very politically fueled, as their main goal was to speak out about any anti-trans legislation.
But like, people come in to my stream and they'll say, "You'll never be a man," like pretty frequently, which is like, they have no idea.
And it would be great if we left things there, but as a characteristic of the internet, things just always get worse. While streaming, they would say some very damning things, especially about other
play the fart.
Influencers.
If this guy does not play the fart porn, he is a coward and a fool. That is the truth.
Such as Destiny.
Oh yeah, meanwhile he stealths people, which is legitimately a form of rape.
As opposed when you lie to people about being a tranny, that's not rape. That's not deception. Or sex by
Wait,
deception.
I don't know if he did it. Wait, backing up, I don't actually know if he did it.
In this video, they are referencing stealthing, where one of the parties takes off the contraceptive without the awareness of the other, and proceeds with the intercourse with the possibility of pregnancy. That is a term I did not want to learn today, and going so far to call him a racist with very minimal evidence. And their Twitter was even worse when they said things like, "I'm going to transgender your children, just try to stop me, bitch," advertising the use of homemade HRT, targeted towards those that were minors and couldn't get the official treatment, and claiming anyone that was going against her was transphobic, or she would just ratio them. And it was around this time Kiwi Farms made their first post on her. The post basically detailing all their wrongdoings. The first post was an entire Bible chapter long, and mentioned things I can't even fit into this video without going off topic, but basically went into their entire...
Like the fart porn. This dude, I'm gonna call it no fart porn. He doesn't have the balls.
Internet history, which considering the cause they're fighting for, is very much far from wholesome. The most damning being allegations. And it also included Kiwi Farms doxing them. Now the exposure from Kiwi Farms actually gave them more of a platform than they had previously, giving them more availability to do their favourite pastime, ratio people on Twitter.
I used to think the ratios were really funny and silly, but now I realize that there's power in it.
Until it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows, because people eventually attempted to use that information in the Kiwi Farms post to swat them, which was a success with some prerequisites, such as contacting the local police saying they were going to kill their mother, and then go on a rampage. This had taken place in August, not long after the first Kiwi post.
On August 5th, I was woken up by London police services, pointing an assault rifle in my face at my home.
I was, did that dead expression, just crazy. On August 3rd, I was awoken from my zombie-like trance and forced to go into the sunlight against my will.
And this would lead to her starting a GoFundMe to sue the police department, as they said their dead name. This would lead to media attention where certain news outlets would interview her. But the weird thing was that the GoFundMe set up to take legal action and recoup her losses from the swatting quite literally kept moving the goalpost. From 20,000, which was the original goal, to 100,000, which was the ending goal, with the excuse it was going towards legal funds anyway. This led to an incident where the police department responded saying they never referred to them as their dead name and they didn't even force entry into their home. They were let in from someone responding to the front door. But that is a whole different story. We're focusing on the involvement of Kiwi Farms. Now obviously, Keffels had to move. Her address was known now, so they would have to move for a temporary stay.
No, you don't. You really don't have to move. Like, if the threat is, like, swatting, which I deny that anyone from the forum did that, like, if the police are aware of you, you don't have to move. It's not like there's anyone, like, it's just such a nonsense argument.
Hell, and temporary it was, as Kiwi Farms users were able to track down what hotel she was in from a simple picture of her cat, cross-referencing the bed sheets. And they weren't done there. They would hack into her Uber account and start...
It bothers me so much when NPC retards like this just take the claims of a known liar, child groomer, lunatic fart pornographer, and they just say, like, okay, X happened. Keffels had food delivered to his hotel room. Therefore, because Keffel said it was Kiwi Farms, it was Kiwi Farms. Like, it's just so frustrating, like, how little benefit of a doubt the NPCs will ever give anything they don't like.
Ordering food on it. And then the next hotel she was staying at, because she took a picture of all the Uber Eats orders on the hotel bed, they would find her again. And this would happen multiple times. She would keep getting doxxed based on her background or saying she was in a certain location, which wasn't helping her. But she would eventually try to get her own back by attacking the company protecting the website, which is Cloudflare, which is used by many websites today. But Cloudflare does not host the website, it just basically protects the website and offers its services to make things more fluid. This led to Kiwi Farms being dropped by Cloudflare, and as a result, a 3-day outage. This also led to the creator of Kiwi Farms, Joshua Moon, becoming a target of her.
Yeah, hold up.
This led to Kiwi Farms being dropped by Cloudflare, and as a result, a 3-day outage. This also led to the creator of Kiwi Farms, Joshua...
There we go. We need some music. Perfect. Let's continue.
A moon, becoming a target of her and even his mother, as she thought a sense of justice would be to have him doxed as well. But this just opened a can of worms as people dug up more through her past and found that she was an advocate for doxing and swatting, well before even she was swatted. And here she is complaining that she was swatted and doxed when she was advocating it for other people. But apparently anyone with an active Kiwi Farms account was fair game to her and a target. And the hypocrisy regarding swatting and doxing doesn't really matter because she's the real victim here. But this just led to her being stalked and being followed around Ireland. Even someone taking a picture outside where she was staying.
And posting it where?
Her own revenge against Kiwi Farms, the site remains up to this day, with her own section on the forum reaching 3,808 pages. And as far as I know, that page number is just going to increase. And the harassment is yet to stop. Keffels did not deserve to be doxed and swatted, but they very much did deserve all their wrongdoings to be...
The harassment of me reacting to a Twitch video that he willingly puts on the internet to try and make money off of it. Now, it's completely within his right to go onto the internet and say dumb shit and try to tune out kids and be a sex pervert weirdo. But if you dare criticize this beautiful, strong trans woman, then you are harassing Zer, and that is not okay.
The internet. Even their advocation for swatting and doxing people. And this is probably one of the only cases where Kiwi Farms got bitten back from harassing somebody. But as said, it still remains to this day, expanding and adding to their list of lolcows. But one thing that did amaze me through doing all this research is how in-depth Kiwi Farms is. If you ever posted anything...
The one thing that really fascinated me when I opened this website is that all this shit I talk about on my videos is freely available on Kiwi Farms. And I realize now I can get away with even less work and thought thanks to the forum.
On the internet, they will find it, compile it, and post it. If this site was used to just gather information about people being assholes and show...
Sir, what have you documented? You've documented a chronic gambling addict, drug addict, family abuser, a literal pedophile terrorist in jail, and a fraudster that tried to groom kids into being transgender, who's a fart porn activist. I want to know, what constitutes an asshole to you? Is it like your school bully? Is that it? What are the limitations here?
All their wrongdoings and not harass, manipulate, or use the information maliciously, I think Kiwi Farms would actually be respected for being able to expose people's wrongdoings. But
But you listen to people who have been exposed for their wrongdoings, you take them at their word, and you believe them uncritically because you are an NPC who has a control panel on the back of his skull that anyone can give access to. Like, even going through this, he picked 3 people, he went through them, and he basically acknowledges, yeah, these are all kind of like rude assholes, and they got exposed by Kiwi Farms, but only if Kiwi Farms exposed assholes. Like, they're completely incapable, because in his brain, he has established a pillar of thought that cannot be challenged. This website is a harassment website, and I know it's a harassment website because Google said so, and Google got its information from Wikipedia, which is the source of all information. So now we know that Kiwi Farms is a harassment website that doesn't do anything good. And now, as he explores it, he finds that it's very useful. He finds 3 instances of lolcows he wants to talk about. All 3 of them are huge fucking assholes who are exposed as a direct result of this website, but he still has to obey the originating thesis that this website is victimizing people.
Farms is not like that, unfortunately. It very much does do all the aforementioned things I mentioned. Doxing,
it doesn't
manipulating, stalking.
But public information is public information. I'm sorry. It's like, how do you tell people that you can't post public information? It's just the way that it is. I'm sorry, if you have an issue with that, take issue with the fact that we don't have privacy laws in the U.S., that state-level DMVs will sell your driver's license information to marketers directly for state revenue, and that's how they compile these phone books. They take information from the court system, they take information from creditors, they take information from your credit score, from the 3 credit bureaus, they take information directly from the DMV. Your voter registration is almost always public. They take information you put out yourself, and then they sell it. And these aggregate information systems can be accessed for free on many websites, and then what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to say, no, don't post this information freely available on the internet? That is wrong. I can't do that. I can't cut the line. If you have an issue with that, you need to protest our lack of privacy in the United States. Every American citizen is doxxed, and they're doxxed by the companies that you have to associate with to get shit done. You get doxxed by your fucking auto insurance, which is required by law for you to have a car. You get doxxed by the DMV, which is required by law for you to operate a car. You get doxxed by your bank account when you apply for a line of credit, which you need to get a fucking house. You get doxxed by all these systems, and they get aggregated by marketers who are allowed to sell this information, and nobody has any issue with it until it shows up on a fucking forum. That's when they draw the line. That's when they say, this has gone too far. How about you go back to where the fucking issue is instead of crying that it's out there? So frustrating, man.
I'm just wanting the worst for the people that have a forum page dedicated to them. But anyway, those were some victims of Kiwi farms. As their video on Keffals generally helped with this. I hope one day you don't find yourself on that forum page. It would be f***ing hilarious if there was a post dedicated to you though. I can already see it now. Neat, shut in, exposed. But yeah, bye-bye.
Great job. Heck of a job, Brownie. Really just incredible stuff. So what have we learned? Never trust the British. He didn't even mention the fucking fart porn. I knew he wasn't going to do that. Because it's too funny. It's too funny. The fart porn is simply too funny. There's no way that some fucking slop AI YouTuber like that would be able to publish a video. Yeah, I don't know what to say. It's so frustrating because this is a guy who doesn't want to activate his brain. He doesn't want to say things that go against the grain. He puts out this video and it doesn't even get, even though he toes the line, he sucks off all the right people, he says the pronouns correctly, he doesn't get any views for it because you can't talk about the Kiwi farms. It's just hard censored from the top down and you don't even get rewarded for it. So he shouldn't fucking waste his time. He could have made a video about how great the site is and it would get the same number of views. All right, that's it. Very frustrating to listen to, especially the editing was fucking awful. The way that he speaks, the way that he like drones on, and the way that he's British, that's simply revolting. Okay, I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Thank you for your support. I appreciate it sincerely. Take it easy. Bye.